So what's up, guys? It's your girl Sharon, and I want to welcome you to our virtual salon experience where I inspire, uplift, and empower you to go great one strand at a time with style. And I also chat with you about the Gen X lifestyle and how to live your best life in your second chapter now. So we met a lady out in the streets a couple weeks ago, and I'm usually passing out my cards, or my husband is passing out my cards, and I tell you, it's never to steal that client from her hairstylist, because I respect other hairstylists. I respect their grind on growing their clientele. It's always to express to them about my purpose, my passion, and my mission at Go Great, Be Chic. So this client particularly, we gave her compliments on her hair. When we thought she was growing it out, her hairstylist has had some physical challenges and she's been off work and she hasn't really had her hair done. So nevertheless, we gave her a card, and a few days later, she actually called to get her hair done. And this is what the young lady looked like before we actually dialed in and gave her services at my studio. In consultation with her before we actually did her hair, Natalie wasn't having it. She said, "No, I ain't ready to see that gray." She was not having it. So make sure you stay to the end of this video to find out the results. The question for you today is to go gray or not to go gray. And in this video, we're gonna be talking about the pros and cons of what you should do and how you should handle and think about making the decision to finally just embrace the journey. And ultimately, guys, we're gonna discuss the 3 pros and cons on either side to help you make the transition or not. If you continue to color your hair, what are the pros for you? The first pro I have for you is you can continue to feel more confident with coloring your hair. The color might make you still feel more youthful. The color might make you just not feel as old or as your age. And when I say old, I don't mean, old lady old. I'm just talking, that's how society makes us think. We're young. It's either young and old. It's nothing in between. You can also continue to have more fun with experimenting with beautiful colors like your blondes and your browns and your auburns and even more brighter shades if that fits your personality. Another pro for you and Nat is that your hair may be a little bit more easier to manage. You don't have all of the silvers. You don't have all of the gray hair. So it might be a little bit less wiry. The hair might be a little bit, the cuticle layer might be a little bit more smoother. And so, yeah, that's another pro for you wanting to continue to color your hair. And last but not least, we might have mentioned this a little bit earlier, but it makes you feel younger. It makes you feel younger to still have that color in your hair. Now, what I can say is if you're continuing to color your hair and it's dark, it's black, it's a blue black, I can't even imagine if you're feeling younger or not. I'm just gonna be honest, because most women 50 and older that are still coloring their hair black or blue black, any color shade that doesn't even match their natural color hair, because most African American women don't have black hair. Most African American women have more of a darker brown shade or a medium brown shade. It's not black. I get it. Continue to color your hair, continue to feel younger. But I guarantee you, if you lighten it up and come into some more browns and auburns, then you will feel a little bit more natural, because that hair is not always the best hair to continue coloring, especially when your hair is growing in silver. And one of the main reasons why I say that is because there's such a contrast when that hair starts to grow back. Yes, I do have clients that want black and want dark brown, but trust me when I tell you, in about 2 weeks after coloring their hair, they get that new growth quick, fast, in a hurry. And they are back at the salon coloring their hairline in about 2 to 3 weeks. So if it makes you feel younger, and that's a pro for you to still color your hair, do you. So here are some cons for you and Nat. And I keep referencing Nat. She was the person who really is just not ready. She's not having it. And I feel her. It took me a long time. So hey, whatever floats your boat, that's what you do. So the first con to not to continuing to color your hair is that you're just going to continue to spend more money. You're going to continue to spend more money in the salon coloring your hair. A lot of times people save money because they're going out and going to Walgreens or whatever that store is in your area where you live, beauty supply store, they're coloring the hair at home. I don't recommend that because to me, you can go wrong with that a little bit. Not just the color, but you can go wrong with your texture. You know, you can start having excessive dryness if you're not choosing the proper product to use on your gray hair or silver hair. So the second con that you and Natalie are procrastinating about and holding back from is the fact that you are prolonging knowing exactly how you would look with your silver hair or with your gray hair. And if you look at this video right here, I believe that some of the tips in that video are gonna shock you. The next con is that your hair can continue to be dry. You may be experiencing damage from your hair, especially if you're not attending a professional salon. Now, when I say there's millions of hairstylists in the marketplace, right? But if you're not experiencing the right kind of color products, because you don't want your hairstylist to be going down the street to the regular beauty supply store getting your hair color. You want them to be using a professional line of hair color. So you might still be experiencing breakage if the hair is not colored properly, and if you're experiencing heat damage and using too much heat on that color treated hair, that's another con that you could be experiencing for not actually making the decision to go gray. If you are looking for like-minded women on the gray hair journey just like you, join our Facebook community, Grown Girls Go Gray. The last and not least, what are you holding back from? What are you actually holding back from releasing, from when you think about releasing the color? In the video that I mentioned earlier, some of the things that I wish I had known before I went gray, I talk about some of those things in that video. So make sure you go back and watch that video. But when we think about stop coloring your hair, it's deeper than coloring your hair. You know, we all are challenged with some, deeply rooted issues in our lives. We all are challenged with stuff from our childhood. And like, anybody watching this video, anybody listening to me right now, I'm sure that you're probably nodding your head yes, because I'm sitting here thinking about some of the challenges that I had as a child and the stuff that I was fighting when I was on my gray hair journey. And I can actually say that I was challenged with, like my youth, like I'm getting older, will society see me the same? Will I still look as good as I did when I was younger? And so all of those things are going through your head when you're thinking about going gray, because society makes us feel like you're gonna feel old, you're gonna look old, but it's all a state of mind. It's all a mindset. And once you get out of that mindset and really accept yourself for who you are and know whose you are, then you will be ready for the transition. And if you're not ready for the transition, then it's just a matter of time that you will finally get there. And then some people won't. Some people will continue to color their hair until they leave this earth, which is fine, because whatever decision you make, you have to be comfortable with that decision. This decision is an inner game. And it's that little, it's that little voice in your head. It's that intuition telling you, no, I'm not ready for this. No, what is gonna happen? What am I gonna look like? Will I look old? How will I wear my hair? How will it look on my skin tone? So many things that are going through your mind, and I know it because I was there. It's so many things going through your mind, and you have to finally try to decide if it's for you. If it's not for you, like I said, that's fine. But know that gray hair is not just about gray hair. Gray hair is a deeper inner calling of you to finally stand up and become your authentic self. Because until I really deeply, truly feel like I am more my authentic self, not that I was fake before, because I love me, I'm a people person, I love people, but for me to get in front of this camera and share with you to the extent that I share with you, you could have never told me 5 years ago that I'd be doing that as an introvert. And, you know, I wanted to get out here on this camera, and, you know, God gave me the vision, the passion, and the desire, and desire is of God. So this desire for me to get on camera, for me to share in the space that I'm sharing for now, I really truly believe it came the same time. I know it came because when I started my YouTube channel was in 2019, and that's when I went great. So the fact that I'm on here sharing and spilling out my heart to you about this transition in my life, I know that you are going through the same thing. So not to just go on and on about it, but gray hair, like I always say, is not just about the hair. It's a deeper inner game that we have to work with and that we have to work through on our end, and nobody else can do it for us. So just keep that in mind when you think about continuing to color your hair. It's not just about you're not ready for the silver hair. You're not ready for what society is going to think about you when you get the silver hair, what your friend might think about you when you get the silver hair, and if you're single, what men are going to think about you when you get the silver hair, what your family is going to think about you when you get the silver hair. So just know that those are some of the issues that you might just want to kind of get quiet and sit with and just be honest with yourself. And that's the only way that you're going to get through the journey if you ever decide to go through the journey. Let me know in the comment section below where you are at on the journey. How do you feel? So if Nat decides to finally, okay, Sharon, I am ready. Let's do this thing. These are the pros that she will experience when she decides to stop coloring her hair. She's no longer spending money in the salon coloring her hair, and I'll be happy for that. So that is the very first pro that she can experience if she just stops coloring her hair, and if you just stop coloring your hair. I will no longer have to convince you guys that you will look amazing with gray hair. So another pro is the fact that she already gets attention. Like, people already love her look. She texted me a message and said that I am getting so many compliments from my hair color that you did. And I'm like, yes, I'm so happy. So just imagine if she stopped coloring her hair, how many compliments people will actually think that that silver hair that she has is platinum. Like, they think, sometimes they look at me and say, I wonder if she colored her hair, or they'll ask, I love your hair color. But really, it's lack of color because I haven't colored my hair to this shade. It's my natural color. So that's another pro that she will experience and that you will experience when you finally just ditch the dye and stop coloring your hair. So these last two, I'm gonna just bunch them up together. You will spend less time in the salon and you will spend less visits to the salon. If you are coloring your hair consistently, you are going to the salon at least every 3 to 4 weeks. Now, say for instance, you have this big fro and you're colored, and you might not have to go to the salon as much because you can't really see your new growth. If you don't have the right color to match that hairline is growing out in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks. I've had a client recently who just said that, you know, what color did you say I can use in between visits? Because I colored her hair about 3 weeks ago and she's all ready for a color touch up, but just the front hairline. So if you and Nat stop coloring your hair, then you can have less time spent in the salon and less visits to the salon. Nat is not ready and you are not ready. Here are the cons that you and Nat might experience if you decide to stop coloring your hair. People's comments may get to you. They may affect you mentally. They may affect you emotionally. If you hear things like, oh, you look old with that hair, girl, you know you need to start coloring your hair again. You should have never stopped coloring your hair. That might make you take a shift from now you got the silver hair, you cut it all off or you grew it all out, and you like, I'm not liking these comments that I'm hearing from people, from my family, from my husband, from my kids, from just my coworkers. I'm just gonna go back and color my hair. So that is one thing you will have to deal with if you stop coloring your hair and you haven't prepared yourself mentally. Some people never experience these comments, but you never know. You don't know what you're gonna get. once you finally just take the plunge, right? Or you might just change your mind because you don't like it. You know, not just because you're receiving those negative comments. You might just figure out that, you know what, I don't like this. It doesn't look good. I don't like it on my skin tone. You know, I can't find the right hairstylist to give me the right cut. And you might just say, you know, just forget it. I'm just gonna go back to my colored hair. If that happens, then you're just gonna have more visits to the salon. You're just gonna start that process all over again. So which one will be you? Are you gonna continue to just decide to not give up the color or ditch the dye like Nat has? Or are you gonna just say, you know what? I'm gonna listen to Sharon. I'm gonna continue to watch her videos and get inspired, get uplifted, and then be empowered and ready to just ditch the dye and just go for it. You never know until you try. So these have been the pros and the cons of what you will experience if you, 1, continue to color your hair, and if you, 2, stop coloring your hair. So I hope that these pros and cons have been a little bit more inspirational for you to understand this entire process of going gray and ditching the dye, because we never know until we know. And make sure you jump on the movement, go gray, be chic, by investing in some of our amazing and beautiful apparel. Continue to color your hair or not to color your hair. The decision is up to you. Make sure you take your time, be gentle with yourself, and make the decision when you are ready. And don't forget to watch this video right here so that you can find out exactly what I wish I knew before I stopped coloring my hair. And if you really want to stay connected to us, make sure that you download our free How to Look Good with Gray Hair. Your inbox will never be the same. So guys, thank you for watching this video, and make sure that you make the rest of your life the best of your life. Until the next time, guys, take care. Peace.